Thank you, Speaker. Sorry. The proposal for the postponement of the the plenary session, the mini plenary sessions on Thursday and Friday, by the way, came from the NC yesterday. I think, as an opening comment, Speaker, there must be an honest process. And the comrades of the NC must just be honest. If they couldn't convince you, they must say, hey, we couldn't convince the Speaker. They must not say, no, we said that the final decision comes from the Speaker. Nobody doesn't know that. We're not kids. We know that. But you were defeated. You couldn't convince the Speaker. You come back and say, hey, comrades, we couldn't. Let's conventionalize consultation. Otherwise, the Chief Whip's Forum is a useless body, but must be scrapped from the rules. Consultation makes Parliament work better. The new leadership of the NC needs to internalize that. It's going to be very difficult to be taken seriously moving forward. So we object, Speaker. And you will see that the steamrolling in this program, the President wants SONA. There's no problem with that. But we're in this situation because of him taking 3 weeks, if not more, to constitute portfolios. Then he still wants to have 3 days to himself with Parliament. And then he comes back for budget vote 1. Again, you allocate him. Budget vote 1, we are debating him again, and then we come back for replies. He takes the lion's share of July. But in your admission, you say we don't have time, there are extreme circumstances, there is a drama of venues, times, and all of that. But you are not reflecting it here. The executive is basically having its day, its field day on Parliament. You are not defending the integrity, the independence, the autonomy of Parliament, Speaker. So we insist. The committee reports, even if they were published last night, the expectation that members will have qualitative debate today is a joke. It's like a joke on holding the executive accountable. You're playing a joke on our people. We should go back to the proposal that we made yesterday and allow committees, if they can have a second opportunity to meet and interrogate those reports. So if a meeting took place, Speaker, yesterday for 2 hours, and there were presentations, there were questions, then there were no answers because there was no time, what will a report say? How can there be a report of the deliberations in the court? There were no deliberations. So we must shift mini plenaries to next week. Exhaust this week, today and tomorrow, for committees to conclude their work qualitatively. We must appeal for the postponement of the opening of Parliament to August. He's going to speak on budget vote 1. He must come do those things of poems of SONA in August. This is law. There's nothing in the SONA that needs to be adopted. There are no resolutions. It's just, a symbolic activity. But the executive needs to accept consequences of its own action. Let's allow this week completely to be dedicated to committees, and July to be dedicated to the budgeting process, and then SONA can come back in first week of August, whatever the case might be. That is our submission. It is the fault of the President of South Africa that we are in this situation. Please, Speaker, let's defend the integrity of the parliamentary process and executive oversight. We must not be steamrolled by the executive. Don't allow that. Not as your first act, not as our first act as parliamentarians, as the seventh parliament. Don't allow that to happen, for them to create a situation where we must dance to their music. It's really, really unacceptable. Our submission is that let's go to the original proposal that we had put to you. We hope it was put in these terms. We don't know. The final point is a simple one. The experience of committees cannot be the only prerogative of chairpersons. Even that experience, that's why it's consulted. All the chief whips of all political parties, it's us who know, because we preside over the members who are in those committees. So that experience is a collective one. It cannot be a report of one person in a committee of so many people called the chairperson, that no, we're ready, let's go. Defend the integrity of Parliament. That's what must happen here. Thank you very much, Speaker.
Thank you. I've noted other hands. I've noted your hand and your hand and your hand, yes.
No, thanks, Speaker. I think I was going to rise on my latter honourable members' last closing remarks, but perhaps mine was going to be a clarity as well, to say who then determines the state of readiness of a committee. Is it just the chairperson? Is it the minister, or the department is represented by the minister, or is it the members, obviously, that must hold the executive accountable? Because as a representative of organizations and members, it is our members that have told us that they are not ready to debate on these budget votes. So I stand firm as well as a representative of an organization that has been sent to this programming committee to say we are not ready to debate on these budget votes today and tomorrow. It is on those bases. And lastly, Speaker, on the point of the program, this particular program having been agreed upon in the last sitting, it was before these sittings that has happened, or these committees that has already said, had presented the documentation late. And I also said in the committee yesterday, where when we engaged on the presentation that was made by the department, we were not provided with answers, nor did we get an opportunity to have follow-up questions, because we were told that responses will be sent to us because there was inadequate time for the department to respond to us. So we therefore appeal to your conscience and your office, Speaker, to say, can we defer the matters that have been set for today and tomorrow to next week? Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you. Honourable Member.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker. Let me start by appreciating our mistake and also apologizing to the members of the Chief Whips Forum for not coming back to them with regard to the decision taken when there was consultation with the Speaker. We are humans. We will make mistakes as we try to do our job. We apologize for that, and we are busy creating a WhatsApp group for the Chief Whips Forum. Those who are new, we will request that they provide us with their contact numbers so that we can have that group, WhatsApp group, where we will share information. Thank you very much. Then, as for us, as this forum, the NAPC forum, I want to believe that this program of Parliament was presented to us in our previous NAPC meeting, and it was adopted as is. It cannot be us who come back and want to review the decisions of our own decisions where we adopted this programming, this parliamentary program, and want to go back and review it. Yes, as we are trying to do our job as members of Parliament, we must also remember that with regard to the budget, there is a constitutional mandate that we must adopt this budget before the end of July. So, as committees said they are ready for the budget to debate their budget, we must also appreciate that it's not only the chairpersons of the ANC who said they were ready to debate the budget. Even other chairpersons from other political parties, they agreed when they were consulted to say they are ready to debate the budget. So, honorable members, Honorable Mahlaule was sitting here yesterday as the chairperson of the Minerals and Energy Portfolio Committee. He made a presentation in front of all the chief whips. He said they had 3 hours to deal with the budget. No one disputed that. So we come back today to say that, yes, even if you disputed it, but no other party disputed it except for the EFF and the MK party. Yes, you are the only ones who disputed it, but other members,
honorable members,
didn't say anything about this budget. This,
order, let's just allow
Mahlaule,
each member to finish their presentation, yes. And I'll come back as the speaker, having listened to all of you.
No other one disputed what Honorable Mahlaule was presenting in this forum. The other issue, Honorable Speaker, the issue of the opening of Parliament. It has been like this every 5 years after the elections. We will have a day where when Parliament is opened by the President. So I don't see a need for postponing this. We appreciate the program as is. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable.
Speaker. No, Speaker, I think, one, we are adopting a very different attitude and approach. An attitude that says we will do as we wish. It doesn't matter how you try to convince us. Whether legally or not legally, you're not in charge, we are in charge. That's the attitude we are confronted with at this point. Number one, we know what are the duties of the Chiefs Forum. It's a consultative forum. It takes no decisions. We can't be reminded of that every time we make a point. We did not take a decision. We consulted each other. We all agreed that this is an approach which makes sense, and therefore we must then take it to the Speaker for the Speaker to advise, and then come back, tell the same people we have taken a decision with that this is now where we are, and this is the advice of the Speaker. What then confronts us is arrogance of just communicating, we're going ahead, this is what is happening, irrespective of where we were before the decision was taken. But number two, we have a program and a programming committee that must change whatever program which we have consulted each other on. If the Speaker feels that mini plenaries must go ahead and advise as such, it cannot be then forced down our throat without coming to the platform to all agree that, okay, this is now how we're moving, we are now rearranging the program. Yesterday, what happened is that a communication came out, these are the committees that are coming. There was no programming that took place, and no one reminded each other that this is wrong. It ought to have been a programming committee which then deals with this matter and reprogram it as such.
No, Shwam.
No, thanks, Speaker. I want to propose like a way forward in terms of the programming. So the proposed program which we are asked to adopt has got the 18th of July, which is the opening of Parliament, starting at 7 o'clock in the evening. So the whole day nothing is happening when we've got the agency of budgeting now. And then Friday the 19th is debate for the whole day. And then Monday the 22nd is debate the whole day of the opening of Parliament address by a president. And then on Tuesday the 23rd is debate on vote one, which is the presidency. And what normally happens with vote one of the presidency is that he makes a policy statement which he could have made on the 18th when he opens Parliament. Like, that is what normally happens. And it's like it's not a State of Nation address, but he makes a policy statement on contemporary issues which get to be reflected upon. So we're taking 4 days to consume the time which was going to be utilized for budgeting processes. And we are raising a legitimate point that committees do not have adequate time to exhaust the budgeting process because there is no space for meetings and there's not adequate time for meetings. And committees are supposed to adopt reports that should give money of the state to be expended for the upcoming financial year. Without adequate process, and we're taking 4 days, 4 full days to focus on a president who, Commissioner Mbuyiseni is correct, that is possibly responsible for the delay because of the delays that occurred in terms of the constitution of the executive. We are going to, for instance, I sit in the Standing Committee on Finance. We're going to the committee now at 10 o'clock. And the draft report doesn't reflect anything that was discussed because the DG came and spoke briefly about major programs and everything else. But the entities which we must approve budgets of, 16 entities, have not given us reason why we should approve budgets for the government pension fund, the government pensions administration agency, GPA, for the FIC, for the Accounting Standards Board, for the FSCA, for the Reserve Bank, for SARS, for all. None of those have given us a comprehensive plan and basis upon which we must approve their budgets. And you have taken away, let's say I want to stick to the July due date. Why would you take 4 days to focus on one person when there are multiple processes which can be accommodated to make sure that we've got a qualitative and thorough process of approving budgets as Parliament? Because we're going to propose in the committee now that prior to the Standing Committee on Finance having a budget vote tomorrow, which we think must be postponed, which is scheduled for tomorrow at 2 o'clock, we think that the critical entities that account National Treasury should make an appearance so that we have a sense, even if they don't make an appearance, but there must be a sense of what are we approving so that we are able to approve and discuss issues that are in context, not to be steamrolled to a process that is not sustainable. So let's reconfigure the program as proposed so that we accommodate space for qualitative input by all members of Parliament. Thank you.